And one of the hottest topics in the past 24 hours is the 5 million golden visa that Trump wants to, well, literally offer to anybody who wants to come to the United States and become a legal resident and with a path to citizenship. And many people are ultimately having a meltdown over this. ViceGrad24 breaking: Trump announces USA will start selling gold cards in 2 weeks. What is a gold card? He says, we're going to put a price on that card of about 5 million, and that's going to give you green card privilege plus. We don't know what the plus is. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will come to our country. This is we're going to play the video, and then I'm going to tell you a couple things.
Very good. We're going to be selling a gold card. You have a green card. This is a gold card. We're going to be putting a price on that card of about $5 million, and that's going to give you green card privileges plus. It's going to be a route to citizenship, and wealthy people will be coming into our country by buying this card. They'll be wealthy, and they'll be successful, and they'll be spending a lot of money and paying a lot of taxes and employing a lot of people. And we think it's going to be extremely successful. And never been done before or anything like this, but it's something that we're going to be putting out over the next, would you say 2 weeks?
He says in 2 weeks. There's one thing there was one comment that I forgot to add here, but that's one thing that you should know about this gold card and this initiative of Trump. There's already something like this. I'm going to look for a comment that I saw early today, which is important to illustrate how misleading can this be, because there was already the EB-5 investors visa. What is the EB-5 investors visa? You pay essentially $1 million. I'm going to look for it. I'm going to look for it right here. Right here. Okay. You essentially pay $1 million to be able to create a business in the United States. And I'm going to tell you how this this works. I'm going to just making sure. Okay. Because I saw a comment. I think that is one of the best examples of how people are misinterpreting this initiative from Trump. Okay, I'm going to show you in just a second, which, makes no damn sense. Here we are. We can't deport more than 500 people a day at best, says John Cardillo. Why are we even talking about expanding H1s and selling gold cards for entry? How about shutting it all down until we get some kind of handle on things? John, I answer you. I replied to you on X. You're comparing illegal migrants. You're comparing illegal migrants with people who can invest $5 million in the United States economy. I want to ask you, if you're listening to yourself, for you it's the same an illegal migrant that the United States must deport with a person, with a family who can invest $5 million, which most likely includes their family, and that $5 million will go to, the United States economy and boost the United States jobs. Because the EB-5, one thing that the 1 million investor visa has, this is important to understand, there's a distinction, is that the EB-5, you pay $1 million. That was since 1990, right? It has been like more than 30 years, 35 years already. You pay $1 million, but there's a caveat. Pay $1 million, but the idea is that you have to invest the $1 million as a business, and you have to guarantee that you have 10 full-time jobs for Americans. This has, a lot of red tape because, you have to guarantee a couple of things to the United States government, like your business is going to be needed, it's actually needed in the United States. Of course, there are already any sort of schemes, that so many attorneys in the United States know that this is a great business. They have these packages that you can pick, and you have your turnkey business, but still, you still are responsible for the business. Like on paper, you're still responsible for the business. You have to maintain the 10 jobs. If you fail to maintain those, then the visa that is for 2 years, a green card for 2 years, then it will just not be renewed. So you have to be careful with this. There are even a 500K version, which what is the difference with the 1 million? With the 1 million is that you get to choose the business and you get to choose where in the United States you can create your business, in anywhere in the United States. If you choose the half price 500K, then it's the United States the one who says that, well, you have to create this kind of business in these cities that really need that. So you will be stuck in maybe you will get stuck in having to create your business in Oakland or Portland or Detroit or something like that. It's nothing against those cities, but I don't know how to tell you, but it's better if you get to pick, right? If you want to be cheap and go for the 500K, then you will be forced to pick from a list of, special cities regarding this. And I think even special kinds of businesses. There's still one less than 100K version of this, but you can invest like 70K, I think as low as 70K. And you still have more limits to this, but it still exists. I think you can invest money. It's not like you are buying your citizenship per se, that so many people are saying, oh, Trump is putting citizenships for sale. Like he's putting a number for being a U.S. citizen. No, that has been happening for a long time and way cheaper, as I'm telling you. $1 million, you can have a business, and I can guarantee you, well, no, I take that back. I cannot guarantee you, by the way. I don't know what is going to be the pros and cons of 5 million versus 1 million, but the idea is that it helps the United States economy in any way. When you talk about golden visas in other countries, it's usually as simple as a golden visa in any other country. It's a synonym for you buy real estate, as in you see an apartment in any city of the United States. You buy an apartment that is at least, for example, in this case, let's say $5 million. That would be quite an apartment. It has to be New York City or something like that. But in this case, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be quite a crib. But in all these countries, you can invest 500K. I think that I don't remember one of the islands of the Caribbean have this schemes, and that's it. You invest $500,000 on an apartment. You don't have to take care of a business. You don't have to create jobs. You don't have to do anything with that. You just have to buy the developments from this list of developments. You buy your apartment. That's it. You have a golden path to citizenship. That's how this works in other countries. I don't know if that is Trump's intention, but idea is that he's going to say, he said that on that video, that this should lead to creating jobs. It's not that, okay, you're going to just, in other countries, by the way, the golden visa means that you don't even have to pay or buy real estate. You essentially are paying the government the money. You're putting the money on, you're paying the government of this, I don't know, I don't remember if San Martin had this at some point. I could be wrong, but it's as simple in those cases. I'm pretty sure that regarding Trump, he wants to make a better version of the EB-5, which is, again, this is $1 million. But again, this is not as easy in the case of the EB-5 as, okay, I'm a millionaire and I'm getting just to get myself a green card. Remember that there are other options that are way cheaper. And you could remember that when Elon Musk was first going for his visa status, he didn't go for the investor visa. In fact, he went for the Obi-Wan. I think it was Obi-Wan? No, Obi-Wan is the character from Star Wars. OB, I think this is 01 visa, right? I forgot. But the O1 is you're extremely talented, even maybe in arts or in business, or you are an astounding celebrity in some regard, and you can opt for that as well. So there are these many options, but I think that Trump wants to especially attract investment. I don't have any idea if that is his plan, but it makes sense because you want people coming to the United States and bringing money to the United States and paying taxes in the United States and creating jobs in the United States. That is a win-win situation. Now the question is, what are you giving these people that are putting $5 million for a golden card? Pretty sure that it covers not only them but their families. But maybe instead of waiting 5 years for citizenship, it's going to be only 2 years for citizenship. That's going to be a trouble because, again, what does it mean having a citizenship in a country? And there was a very interesting discussion about this. It was a very interesting discussion and started by J.D. Vance. And I'm gonna show you this. During my Senate campaign in 2022, I met an Ukrainian American man in Ohio. He was very angry about my views on the conflict and my desire to bring it to a rapid close. "You're trying to abandon my country and I don't like it." And Vance replied, "Sir," I replied, "your country is the United States of America, and so is mine. I always found it offensive that a new immigrant to our country would be willing to use the power and influence of their new nation to settle the ethnic rivalries of the old." Again, if you're leaving your country and you are asking to be a citizen of another country, it makes sense that you pledge, loyalty to your host country. That's what makes sense, right? One of the most important parts of assimilation is seeing your country as the United States of America. It's part of the bargain. If you're welcomed into our national family, you ought to look out for the interests of the United States. That makes sense, right? But if you are an immigrant to any country, you should, you put that country's interest in front of, or more important than, the country you left. That should make sense in many ways. Okay, I know that it's not that black or white, but makes sense. You know that it makes sense. I know many immigrants who have the right perspective, and I'm grateful to them. For example, I met many Ukrainian Americans during that campaign and since who agreed with my views, or at the very least asked the right question. What is in the best interests of the United States? And there was this tweet from Geiger Capital that put that in a very easy frame. Geiger Capital: assimilation is very easy to understand. If the United States got into a war with the country you or your family immigrated from, who would you fight for? Who would you fight for? If the answer isn't the United States, you have not assimilated and are not loyal to America. It's a good thing that nowadays there are very few countries that would decide to enter in a conflict with the United States. And at the same time, if you come from the few countries that could enter in a conflict with the United States, it's most likely that you would automatically side with the United States. It's highly likely. It's something that I would say that 99 times out of 100. But this is interesting. This is an interesting discussion of what does it mean to become a citizen of a country. Who are you pledging allegiance to? Regardless if you paid $5 million or you enter for free because, well, you have proven through high capacity visa that you have capacities, that you have skills and abilities that would be useful to the United States, and it will essentially you will essentially just pay for the process of the visa. Don't have to be an investor or anything. But if you become a citizen of the United States, in this case, what does it mean from a morals and ethics perspective? because I can understand that anybody, and for example, any American wants to, any immigrant that comes that is accepted from now on, now that we have been talking about deportation so much and about illegal immigration so much, they want complete assimilation in, maybe in these terms, like, who are you? What is your greatest alliance to? Okay, you might have the country that you were born in. Maybe you have family there as well. But it's like when they say that some people are in the United States, working in the United States, paying their taxes in the United States, but they're sending money back home. Okay, as long as you work hard, you obey the law, you pay your taxes, like, nobody cares what you do with your money. If you want to send the money back home, it's your problem. It's nobody else's problem what you do with your money. Okay, that's something that has to be, I think that is common sense. But in the case of thinking, okay, what is the best interest? Because not the country that you left, is the country that you're in. And I, as an immigrant myself, well, that applies to me as well. I try to be very fair, and sometimes that has gotten me into trouble. But you know that common sense nowadays, it's in low supply, and people can get triggered by many stuff. So people getting triggered by Trump's 5 million visa offering, when a similar offering and way cheaper offering has existed for 35 years. So yeah, it's a bit silly. It's a bit silly in many ways. You have to understand where all this comes from, and he wants to attract wealthy individuals. And at the same time, you know how so many people are Bernie Sanders-y, and they don't want anything to do with wealthy people bad, when Bernie Sanders became a wealthy person himself thanks to selling anti-capitalism books. But you get the point. Oh, we don't want wealthy people. Wealthy people are sketchy. Well, tough luck, because it's the wealthy people who sometimes they know how to do business and they know how to invest money, and any country wants those people in their roster. But I would like to know, what do you think about this, this initiative in the comments?